How are you? That's a nice
I was
thing.
counting. Yes, I did though.
You're not one of them, are you?
No, I'm not.
How do you think we made it 40 seconds?
There you go. That's why it happened. That's why that one went bad.
I don't know why I still keep my kids still keep track of board.
Cool.
Oh, sure. See youngster here.
Ready, Michelle? Chris? Call the meeting to order at Montcalm County Board of Commissioners regular meeting for Monday, January 12th, 2026. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Vice Chairman Peterson.
Yeah, we have Pastor Dennis Ross here from Nevins Lake Church to lead us in prayer, please.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for another year you've given to us. We thank you for the promises in your word. We thank you especially for the one that if we ask you for wisdom, you will give it to us liberally and no reproaching. Pray for our commissioners that they would have your wisdom as they seek to lead the people here of our county. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Alexander.
Here.
Johnston.
Here.
Peterson.
Yes, ma'am.
Johnson.
Here.
Mahar.
Here.
Carr.
Yes.
And Murray.
Here. Everyone's here. On tonight's agenda, I don't have any changes. Does anyone else?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Johnston.
I'd move to approve our agenda as presented.
Support. It's been moved and supported to approve the agenda as presented. Discussion. If there's no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Everyone have a copy of the meeting minutes, 2 sets, the last regular session of 2025 and also the organizational set of minutes from January 2nd. We can do them together or individually, whatever your preference.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Johnson.
I would propose we accept the minutes for both the January 2nd and the December 15th meeting.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to accept both sets of minutes. January 2nd, 2026 and December 15th, 2025 as presented. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comments.
How y'all doing? My name is Jeff Himes, Joe Knight. I'm from the Vibe. I live in Greenville, and I'm not a perfect person by far. I've made bad jokes. I'm a vulgar person by nature. I do an uncensored radio show, and I always say it's easier to work with me than against me. So let me prove that right now. The Stuff a Bus donation drive was interfered with, not because it was wrong, illegal, or ineffective. It was interfered with because certain politicians didn't like me, primarily one sitting on this board. Is it Snuggle Bear? That alone tells you everything you need to know about the corruption in this county, and it's why I decided to make exposing it my life's work. You can thank Snuggle Bear for that, as I'm so serious about it that I'm in the process of selling my rock station to focus more time on this mission. My final uncensored, vulgar morning radio show will be January 30th, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. before I sell. It'll still be on air locally here on the Vibe and the Mullet, and with new on-air personalities launching in February. We've grown so much over the past year. I've even prepared for what's coming next with new domain names like papanome.com, georgebasonic.com, jeffscobie.com, and charliemahar.com. New platforms and no shortage of satire aimed directly at the people responsible. When someone is willing to block food, toys, and support for families simply because they don't like the organizer, that's not leadership. That's petty, vindictive, and small-minded ego. That seems corrupt. He didn't just attack the messenger, he even attacked the mission, saying people don't need some of the goods, and in doing so proved he cares more about personal grudges than the people he claims to serve. Let's be clear. If your personal dislike outweighs your duty to the community, you have no business in public office. You don't punish families because your pride is bruised. You don't sabotage charity because you can't control it. This was never about policy or safety. It was about power, pride, and insecurity. So congrats, you didn't stop me. You encouraged me, and in doing so, tried to stop generosity. And now so many who didn't know before know exactly who you are now. One bad apple spoils a bunch. There are political consequences for political actions, so enjoy the political future you're creating for yourselves in this county. You need to wake up? Well, you like limes. These grapefruits signify something else. Remember when you ate that lime that signified my tumor? What do you think those signify? And you know what? Here's a banana. Make sure you enjoy these.
Anyone else with a real public comment? Hearing none. Vice Chairman Peterson with tonight's correspondence, please.
You don't want to go with Logan at
Oh, I guess we're
405?
405 already. Yeah, I was still kind of mesmerized by the.
You thinking about
You're gonna have to follow up.
you thinking about eating a grapefruit?
Our 405 agenda item is the Central Dispatch Director, Logan Bissell, to give us a department update.
Huh?
Come on up, Logan.
You just knock those off.
He's telling us more.
What's that?
Why?
It's Mohawk.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Jack Johnson's taken.
Guaranteed.
You don't have to worry about JackJohnson.com being taken.
Banana pancakes. Dibs on the
Banana pancakes.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Tough act to follow, big boy.
They're not all like that. I promise.
My first introduction. Thank you.
I don't know where Snuggle Bear come from, but that's what you got to address me as from now on.
I'd pass on that if I were you.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I appreciate it. As stated, my name is Logan Bissell. I'm the Director for Montcalm County Central Dispatch Authority. I took over in May. I apologize that I have not been in here sooner. I've had a little bit to catch up on, so I've been getting on that, but finally made it in here. And I want to make it clear tonight, the purpose of me being here is just as an introduction and kind of as a background of what's going on at Central Dispatch. I felt like this is a great time to do that rather than when under negative circumstances. So here I am tonight. First of all, my background, my family is from the area. Both my parents graduated from Montebello. My mom grew up in McBride, my dad from Blanchard. So I grew up just north of the county line in Mecosta County, but I am from this area. If I could move back in here, I would in a heartbeat. But as I've said in the past, I bought a house at 2% interest over in Hemlock. So we're going to be there for a little while. I also have a little bit of experience on the other side of the radio as a volunteer firefighter for going on 15 years now. So I understand both sides, not as much as some others, but a little bit. So with that, going into the director spot, three things that I really have been focusing on is stability, professionalism, and reliability. I value the transparency and also the proactive planning of the department for whatever future may come from it. I believe that communication is very clear. So whenever I have an issue, I'm going to come to you. And if you have an issue with me or my department as well, I ask that you do the same. My email, phone, cell phone is always available for you all. So just an operational snapshot of our department. We're currently just shy of 53,000 calls for service last year. That's all calls generated within our computer system. We had approximately 22,000 911 calls and about 64,000 administrative calls. And another thing that we're going to throw at you is 227 texts to 911, which is something that I really want to emphasize, as that's another system that our dispatchers are having to monitor. Text to 911 take a long time. You have to think about how quickly that a dispatcher can gather the information on a telephone call, as opposed to a text conversation where I'm relying on somebody in distress to actually send it back to me. They're monitoring that while still monitoring telephones and radio systems. The volume has been very steady and the complexity is increasing. That's just one example of a program they're having to monitor. I could sit here all day and bore you to death with furthermore, but that's just the idea of what dispatchers are coming up with. There's more and more technology out there to help civilians and to help people in need, but it's also putting more and more stress on the dispatchers. My priority is matching our staffing with the systems that we're putting in front of them. We're solid right now. The National Emergency Number Association says that we're staffed at about what we should be based on that. My Deputy Director, Alyssa Herkway, ran that today, and we're fairly staffed, so it's fantastic. And I hope to maintain that level of service that we are currently at. One thing that I want to point out to all of you is staffing. Currently 911.gov, this is from 2022, so I shouldn't have said currently, but 911.gov reported 1/3 of all dispatch centers in the country are at high vacancy, with more than half stating they have a genuine staffing emergency. I am more than proud to state that we're fully staffed. The only thing that we could do more is funding, which we could add another position, but that's just been a rotating empty position basically because of funding. We have a culture at Montcalm County Central Dispatch that is second to none, and we should all be very grateful and thankful for everybody in that seat out there. I came from a different situation, and I am ecstatic to be in the spot that I am now. It's fantastic. So I thank all of my staff for that. One other thing that I would like to touch on with you all is you have a little bit of interest in it is the radio encryption project that we are currently going through. My department, the sheriff's department, as well as you all donated, or didn't donate, but contributed funds towards the radio encryption project. I wanted to give you an update on that. That has been going at a pace. With the departure of Amy Thomas, as well as our representative from Motorola Solutions, all at the same time, it kind of got left on crouch to know everything. But I'm not going to give exact dates as to when we're going to switch over, but we're nearing the end, and I would definitely see this quarter, if not next month. So your funding towards that has gone towards new radios for all of the police agencies so that we can encrypt to follow all of the CJIS compliance through the FCC. So that should be done here very soon. The next major project we have going on at Central Dispatch is a phone system upgrade. It's very exciting for us. It's going to allow interoperability with regional dispatch centers, meaning that if a major event were to happen here in Montcalm County and we couldn't answer phone calls for whatever reason, we had to evacuate our answering point, I could call Newaygo, Muskegon, Misiola, Gratiot, Clare, and they could log in and answer calls for our county from their positions. It's exciting because it's more interoperability, but it also causes another problem because Muskegon and Newaygo are going to interoperability with their CAD system. That's more money that needs to be spent down the line and something else that we need to prepare for. So eventually we'll get there. I'm not worried about it for now. The only other thing I have to say is I look forward to moving forward with this county, with you all, as well as our agency, strengthening the system that we have in place that is 911 and providing the service that we are to all of the citizens of the county. I feel that that's what my job is to make sure that I'm providing the best service for 911 for them. And I've been put in a great place for that so far. So that's all I have for tonight. I open up my email, my phone number for any questions you may have. And if you have any right now, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for Director Bissell?
Do you want a grapefruit or a banana for the road?
I appreciate it. I'm all set.
I've got one.
Thanks, Logan.
Thank you,
Do
sir.
all the agencies have, police agencies have their radios
They
now?
do.
They do?
Yes,
Okay.
yep. They've been distributed to all of them. We're just waiting. There was one problem with programming for one agency. We're waiting for that to happen. And then it's just training for the remaining
I
agencies.
didn't turn it on.
The new radios look like phones. That's something we didn't know. That's touchscreen. So we need to get some training for the officers because it's I've never seen that before.
Different, yeah.
They're very interesting. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. For 4:15, we have Maintenance Director Doug Beetson with us to talk about the proposed addition for animal control. And we have the Animal Control Director too. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Well, to start with, I'd like to apologize. I don't like coming to you guys with a problem that I have, and I'm not really sure if it is a problem. So I had a contractor a year and a half ago give me a price per square foot to put on an addition like we're talking about. That's the number that I came to you with, around 125,000. If you go online and ask what it costs to build a barn dominium, somewhere between $65 and $165 a square foot. Still works pretty close to the math that I had. The engineer that we had, or architect that we had that drew up the building, he pushed it at more like 325,000. So I don't know who's right until we build it. I guess we won't know. But I have a dilemma now of you've granted us 125,000.
100,000.
We don't know if that's going to build it.
Can we put it out for bids and see what contractors think? I
could.
mean, his engineered price isn't necessarily what the market is gonna be, is it? Or am I?
He's out of Grand Rapids or out of over by Muskegon, so I don't know how close he is on that. He's a single guy that draws up smaller projects, so thinking he's got some knowledge, but I'm also trusting the contractor I talked with to have some knowledge in that as well.
Is the contractor that you talked with interested in doing the work?
He might be. He's not really into wood construction as much as he is metal construction. So
Metal, you mean?
like the addition on the BVM that was all, I-beams and metal studs and
Oh,
things
that
like
kind of
that.
Steel.
Steel building.
Steel construction.
What's your pleasure? What's everyone think?
So we approved 100,000 in the budget process this past summer.
We knew, 125 was the quote, and we approved 100.
No, 100 was asked and 100 is what we approved.
Oh, I thought it was, my apologies. I thought it was 125.
No, it was 100.
You know, if the builder's quote was 100, then we're just,
He gave me a rough number of about 65 to 75 a square foot. But that was a year and a half ago too. So when we first started looking at this project.
Is there any harm in just putting it out for bid and see? I mean, I don't think there's any harm in that.
No,
Seeing
we
what-
could do that.
And if it's ridiculously high, like your request says, we can piecemeal it out if we have to, or whatever we gotta do.
My concern is what if it does come back at 325 or 50,000? There's not enough money in the donation because we were paying for it out of her animal control donations fund, the 100,000.
Mhm.
She doesn't have that kind of money in that fund. So,
accept or reject all bids, right?
right.
All right.
Yeah, we don't even have to move on it at that point, once we get this back, but I guess that was my concern is where's the other money gonna come from? Or where do you wanna?
Well, I don't see any harm in at least figuring out exactly what it's gonna cost. I think we're arguing hypotheticals here. I mean, maybe the architect is right on, maybe he's way off. I don't know what they know. I know if they're anything like engineers, they don't know much.
Careful. Careful.
Wait, is there one here?
Review, but. All right. So if that's your,
Anyone else have any difference to that?
No, I think it's a good idea.
Makes sense.
I think
okay,
that
that's
makes
what we'll
sense. Let's
proceed with. I
see
just
what
didn't
we
want to
get.
go ahead and do that and then have the number come.
Well,
in
don't tell them that
300,000.
the architect said 325 grand before you give them a bid.
No, fortunately, nobody will hear about it through the internet or anything.
Right.
I think to Brenda's point, if that's the news we get, it probably is gonna take a whole nother conversation to see if we're able to pull that off.
Right.
It's not just gonna scratch up the extra money and move forward. We're probably gonna have to back up and decide which way we go. So
Okay.
hopefully there's somebody that's wanting to work in the range that we thought we were doing, so.
Okay.
Is there any potential give on the size, or is basically what we're doing is exactly what we need? I mean, is there some cost
We could
savings
make the
potential,
two
I guess?
Animal room's a little smaller, but
We could switch it a little bit.
We
We
can
would just have
downsize
to
a little
switch
bit,
the
but-
blueprints, wouldn't we?
yeah, I don't think we could cut it in half. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And still be able to do what she needs to do or wants to do. We could shorten it up by 10 or 15 feet, but that's all. I mean, the rooms are pretty much all empty. I mean, there's nothing in there but walls and windows, other than furnace, water heater, things like that we need. Bathroom, but the
And
rest
you're-
of them are all like just an area to bring people in, animals in, and have them be able to meet and greet each other in a lobby and an extension to her little office. So she's got a little room to work. So.
And it was just pole barn construction with a flat floor?
Well, I asked the building department downstairs, which way is the cheapest to go, pole barn or stick? And he's like, if you're going to finish inside and out, stick is probably just about as cheap as pole barn. So you do have more concrete for footings and things like that, but you don't have the poles and, the rest. So I was going to leave it to, the contractor to determine which way he wanted to construct. Because I don't
Gonna
think we
say,
care which way the
Should
structure
we
is.
ask for both to see which ones?
I was just going to do an either or. You can bid a stick construction, or you can build a pole construction.
What was the architect's involvement? Did he give us a set of sealed prints?
He
Mhm.
gave us a set of prints for bidding and everything. Yeah, I gave him basically the blueprint I drew up, the drawing I drew up, and then he sized it accordingly to how things should be done, which was my concern is, I didn't want 100,000 questions from 10 contractors on a bunch of stuff that I didn't even think about. So,
But is his print vague enough that it could be either way, pole
Yeah.
barn or
Yeah.
stick? I see. Okay.
Yeah, basically, he just drew up the size and made it, fit for typical rafter layout and things like that maybe I wasn't. I was just looking at a blueprint of, a footprint of, I'd like to fill in this area. We got this much room to work with,
I see. Okay.
So there's some stuff in there that we could take out that I had in, talking to the building department again, some of the emergency lighting, we don't need quite that much, but I always like to err on the side of caution, so.
Sure. Okay, anyone else have any thoughts or comments?
If you're hungry, take a grapefruit or banana with you on your way.
That wasn't left for us.
Part of a balanced breakfast, that's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
To take it then.
Thank you.
I will.
Our 425 with prosecutor, Mr. Ginster with us to discuss a reclassification of
No.
personnel.
The lime was dry and I didn't eat it. I put it in.
Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Thank you. As long as Mr. Hines doesn't have TomGinster.com, I think I'll be okay.
You'll be all right. Not yet. After watching this meeting, it will.
Before I get to my agenda item, I sent you a draft copy of our annual report. For last year, my first year in office, our office experienced a 30% increase in our caseload, total of 1,800 cases versus 1,400 in 2024. We issued 423 felony cases compared with 336 cases in 2024. That's a 25% increase. Our office issued 1,700 misdemeanor cases compared with 1,241 in 2024. It's a 22% increase. This is kind of interesting. Domestic violence cases experienced a 61% increase from 85 cases in 2024 to 137 cases in 2025. Operating while impaired, which includes alcohol, marijuana, or other drugs, increased 32%. Juvenile petitions increased 41%, and the Family Support Division handled 240 cases. This doesn't mean that crime's up 30%, of course. This just means that we experienced a 30% increase in our referrals. So I've never been a big fan of process evaluation. We won't know whether the outcome is better until we get the annual drunk driving audit, which comes out by the state police in late summer, and the uniform annual crime report from each jurisdiction, which is also going to probably be in late summer. At that point, we'll have an idea of whether the numbers are moving in the right direction. So there was a colleague of mine that took office back in November of 2024. Sorry.
Jeff
But
Hunt.
Yeah.
I'd lose my phone if I was in court, so I'm glad I didn't. Prosecutor Wilson Bott, and he said after a year in office, he's still learning how small government works, and I would put myself in that category. I initially took office, and I was quickly disabused of the idea that I could have complete flexibility if I stayed within my overall budget. So last year, of course, at this time, if you recall, I brought before the board a proposal to reclassify our victims' rights coordinator / manager, and that was declined because the board did not want to reopen the collective bargaining agreement, which I understand. Since then, I've reread the collective bargaining agreement, and it specifically excludes grant-funded positions. Starting with the victims' rights advocate, that is 100% funded by, it's not tax dollars, it's not state tax dollars, it's not local tax dollars. It's funded by offender assessments, and it goes into a fund administered by the Michigan Department of Community Health. I think we received just shy of $80,000 last year. We didn't use all of the allocation. We returned some of that money. It doesn't carry over. And so that's one. I think there's 8 or 9 constitutionally and statutory mandated duties of that office. And the incumbent, it requires a 4-year degree in human services. The other position is the child support position. It's the incumbent is Jamie Van Sloten. She handles her caseload again as 240 cases this year. That's also a partially funded, grant funded position. It's my understanding her budget is 66% of whatever her salary and costs are, regardless. So they're going to pay 66%, whether it's high or it's low. The crime victims' rights budget, the amount, it's my understanding, the amount received by Montcalm County is not a formula grant based on our population and crime statistics, but it's based upon our initial grant application each year. And so some counties that are of equal or lesser population actually receive more money than we do, based on the salary of the incumbent and the local needs when we apply every year. So at this point, I'm just asking, because of the ambiguity in these positions, I'm just asking the board to seek a formal legal opinion with the county civil council as to whether these two positions should have been in the union to begin with. I know traditionally they've always been union positions, but whether they should be in the union or whether they're exempt. And based on that opinion, I'll come back before you and probably ask for a reclassification.
Okay. Anyone, any questions, prosecutor?
Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chairman Peterson?
Tom, remind me, I see you have Betsy Hartley listed here in your extensive bios. Remind me how much longer she's going to be on staff?
She's, the contract that you approved, I think is until June 1st of next year.
Okay. Of next year?
Yes. No, I'm sorry.
2027?
Yep, we're in 2026, yes.
Okay. So June of this year.
Right.
Okay.
Currently, she's handling the juvenile lifer remands. She had a sentencing today, which are extremely laborious. And she's working part-time from home in Florida and handling our appeals as well.
So is that going to be something we're going in May, you're going to come back and say, hey, we want to keep her on for another 6 months?
If I do that, Commissioner, I'm going to have a funding source. By then, I anticipate that we'll have substantial forfeiture revenues in addition, so it won't come out of the county's pocket. But right now, she's still working the double homicide, which is considered a cold case up in Pearson Township. And I could debrief you on that, but not in public.
Yeah, I remember that's the first time I was introduced to Miss Hartley is during her quest for FOIA and whatnot. I just wondered, because I see her listed here as though she's a full-time employee, and I was remembering that she was under
I think
6 months contract.
A lot of it depends on how much progress she's making on that case. She currently resubmitted a lot of the information, or I'm sorry, a lot of the evidence that was seized, resubmitted it to the Michigan State Police Crime Laboratory.
So you saying that just makes me think, are we now paying her to do something she was doing for free? Because she came to us
right,
asking for that stuff she was doing pro bono on her own, and now we're paying her to do it?
She's definitely not money motivated to do it. But
I understand. I understand.
I think
that.
I agreed to that she would bill 4 hours a week on that, and nothing more than that. So she has, I agree, she has probably hundreds of hours that are pro bono right now into that case.
You can agree that that's probably not the greatest look.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. So I'll leave that be for a minute.
But let me just say this, Mr. Peterson, because she's labeled officially as an assistant prosecuting attorney, even as a contractual one, that gives her additional authority, especially in dealing with other jurisdictions and other agencies that she wouldn't have as a private attorney. And also,
I don't doubt she's an asset. It's just now we're paying her to do something she was doing for free. It's fine. Whatever. As far as wanting these people out of the union, I think in your limited amount of small government experience, you know that the union is not really hot to trot to get any people out of the unions.
Right.
So what's your pivot if our council says no?
Well, I fully support the right of collective bargaining, and I would suggest that it would be up to the incumbents whether they would want to relinquish the protection of for cause employment in exchange for a reclassification of their positions. Right now, both of these positions are probably 20% lower than any comparable county of our size. And it's my fear, if I lose one of these, if I lose either Jamie or Ms. Larson, we're going to be in a world of hurt. These are critical positions that are going to be extremely hard to fill, especially the child support division. The learning curve on that is extremely high. During 2025, right now we have a state police trooper Ajima, that works part-time in our office assisting us, but sometime during this year, I also might come before you and ask for another part-time support person. And the reason is that our support staff are under tremendous pressure. Sometimes they work through lunch. If you go into our office, sometimes won't even look up at you because they're under such pressure. And there is no room right now for me to do any cross training of different positions, or if I have vacations coming up, I don't have a lot of options. And so it would be very beneficial to have a part-time 27-hour-a-week support person to add it to our staff, but I won't do that without a funding source. And so I may at some point, we're doing with what we have, but at some point I may come before you and ask for that position.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Commissioner Johnson.
So we could send this to our civil attorney. He could say, yep, that's right. The union would grieve it, and it could end up before an arbitrator who could overturn everything, correct?
Well,
I don't believe AFSCME has arbitration.
It's go to a mediator, but.
It would go to a mediator, and it would be a rear end ache for the collective bargaining committee for 6 months.
Right. And then when was this contract settled that they're under right now, or when are they up for renegotiations for that contract?
I think it goes through 27.
my guess too.
Gotcha.
Let me look real quick, but.
2 more years.
I mean, there's no harm in asking, I guess, but I just keep bumping up against the fact that if we start saying that the union's not, and I've only been doing this for 8 years, but they're not going to be hot to trot to say, yeah, let's get rid of these 2 union positions.
The one glaring example in not too distant past was a gal named Teresa Good that worked in the court system under a state grant of some
She's a
kind.
victim's advocate.
Crime victims, yeah,
And she was the president
of the union.
of the union. She was clearly a union employee. And all the time she wanted to be released. She wanted that out of the union because she knew that her union position would pay her more. And our stance on that through that whole time was, no, you're still coming to work, punching the clock like everybody else in that corridor with you. And your funds happen to come from a different pot of money, but we're not going to have employees ostensibly working for Montcalm County being paid at different rates. So we had no interest in trying to do that. But furthermore, it was one example of a person in a grant position that was a union employee and was found to be in the right place as a union employee.
Well, and we have officers that are grant funded that are in unions.
Did you look and see when the contract's up?
27.
27.
Sure, McCray.
Sure.
Any hypothesis on the 30% increase in reports to you? And these are what you're calling caseload, reports that officers are submitting to you for a warrant request or a juvenile petition?
Yep, that's right. And, I'm not a criminologist. I don't really know what's behind it. So I know that my predecessor didn't have any, it's my understanding, she didn't decline any warrants any greater than we do. I mean, she subjected them to the same scrutiny. the same probable cause determination. So.
It just seems like a massive increase where there has to be some explanation. Like, I'm wondering if there's a procedural difference in the way the officers are submitting. Are they submitting maybe more questionable cases? Are they submitting everything to you, or only cases that meet the requirement for a warrant? It just, that's a lot. I mean,
Yeah, it is startling, especially the increase in domestic violence. So I was going to raise it at the chief's meeting and get some feedback.
'Cause I don't think we're even up officers. I think we're down officers across the
Right.
county, which,
So two things are happening. Either there is an increase in crime, or the police are become a lot more aggressive this year in bringing cases to us.
yeah, it could be with a younger group of troops maybe. But these are from January 1 to December. But those are
Yes.
received in that time, nothing that was backlogged when you
Nope.
started?
This is based on intake.
Okay.
Who's sitting on their keys?
It's a blue Ford truck.
Well, and then lastly, how are you feeling about just catching up? How do you feel about where you're at?
Now that we're fully staffed, I feel like we've gotten our sea legs. We have momentum, and
Blue Ford?
we're in a good position for 2026 in terms of actively participating in the investigation of major crimes. We filed 2 forfeiture actions against 3 properties, seeking $500,000 in forfeiture proceeds. And we're going to try more cases now that we're fully staffed. And as a matter of priority, I tell you, this is the best job in America, Commissioner. And what's not good, based on your experience and probably the experience of Mr. Johnson, is the cases that get me are not the homicides, it's the child abuse cases. I was holding my grandson, and at an age when young children, very young children under 2, are supposed to have, peace, security, and joy in their life. These parents, some are meth addicted. We see really, really tough cases. Skull fractures, beatings, burnings. And I'm sure Andrea, after 30 years, I haven't talked to her about this, but I think she would probably agree with me that this is the absolute toughest part of the job, in dealing with that. And you take it home with you, So, and these are the hardest cases to prove. The best witness is a minor, and you're relying on the statement of the mother, or usually the boyfriend, or so as part of your experience, I think it's part of Johnson, first responders experience, Commissioner Johnson, and they're not easy, are they? So
No, they're not. But
No.
just to reiterate, you feel like you're able to keep up as far as with the complaint load and
Yep.
keep that revolving door going?
right,
And,
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I don't think there's any harm in asking our council if they think this is a good deal. I mean, it is what it is, but I can tell you what the union's gonna say before they say it. So, do we need a motion on this to make it a deal?
I think so.
I would move to direct the controller to seek legal opinion on our crime victim rights coordinator and child support specialist to see if they are exempt from collective bargaining agreement.
It's been moved and supported. Discussion. So then a couple scenarios, Commissioner Johnson painted one, but just to be clear, if our legal counsel says, yes, they could be let out of the union, and we ask the union, which we've already asked the union, and they've said no,
Mm-hmm,
it still stalls out, right?
mm-hmm.
And if our counsel says it can't be done, or that isn't appropriate, it stalls out.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the scenario that this has a chance of advancing?
I would say slim to none.
No, but I can't even, what would that be? Who, our counsel would have to say what?
I don't have any idea. I'm confused by the ask.
I
but if
just
he-
don't
if
think
he wants
there's
us to ask, we can ask.
I don't
but
think there's an answer that gets him what he wants.
I believe you're right.
And so I don't know what it's gonna cost to ask our council that question, but I don't think there's an answer coming back in the future that is what Prosecutor Ginster is looking for. Both scenarios that I can run in my mind lead to the same dead end road.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Up next, Michaela Sattler from 64B District Court to talk about the Veterans Treatment Grant. Welcome.
Hello. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Michaela Sattler. I'm the probation officer with the District Court, and I'm also the program coordinator for the Mid-Michigan Veterans Treatment Court. I'm here this afternoon just for an informational only to formally provide the board with a copy of the fully executed fiscal year 26 Veterans Treatment Grant Award. I do want to acknowledge and apologize for the misunderstanding regarding the board signature process for this grant. The DocuSign agreement was routed to and executed by our court administrator who had the authority to sign. I do not have the contracting authority, and my role is limited to the Veterans Treatment Court operations and administration. At the time, I was unaware after the court administrator executed the agreement, it also needed to be routed for electronic signature by the board chair. I was under the assumption that once it had been routed to the court administrator, there were no further steps I was responsible for. The state court administrative office recently notified us of the missing board signature. Once that was brought to my attention, I immediately worked with the county controller to clarify the correct procedure. And I just want to say I truly appreciate her guidance and help through that. Moving forward, we now have a clear process in place to ensure board involvement and signatures occur at the appropriate stage. I also want to note for the board's awareness that the Mid-Michigan Veterans Treatment Court is now state certified through the State Court Administrative Office. The program is operational, and we anticipate accepting our first participant within the next month. The fiscal year 26 grant award is in the amount of $6,232 and supports early Veterans Treatment Court operations, including limited coordination time, contractual services, and basic program supplies. No action is being requested. My purpose to you this evening is to provide the documentation to the board, ensure transparency, and to be available to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, very good. Anyone have any questions?
So that grant is under number 9 and place on file if you didn't see it there.
Any questions at all? Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That ends our timed agenda items. Up next is correspondence. Vice Chairman Peterson, please.
All right. First up on page 20 is our sheriff's canteen food service agreement. Looks like it is going up 7 cents per meal. I think that brings it to about 8 cents per meal, which is a 3.7% increase. It seems to be in line with food inflation. We could tell them that we got a couple grapefruits and bananas that might cut down on our costs. I'm going to keep hammering that joke.
Yeah.
All the way. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns on this, I'm probably not the one to ask, but I feel like we have a canteen increase yearly or bi-yearly,
Yeah.
I would say.
Mhm.
I think the price of steak's going up or something. Nobody's got anything. I would move to accept the canteen amendment 5 and allow for the appropriate signatures.
Or it's been moved and supported. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, next up, page 23 is the Reynolds Township Police Contract Renewal. This is just spelling out, Reynolds Township will be receiving 500 hours of a deputy patrol at the tune of $25,000. And that's about it. Does anybody have anything on that? Excuse me. If not, I would move to accept the Reynolds Township Police Protection Agreement and allow for the appropriate signatures.
Been moved and supported. Discussion. If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, next is the park rental rates, starting on page 28, but the meat and potatoes is on 29. Ford Lincoln will be going from 1,050 to an even 1,500 for a
No,
full.
No, we
What?
haven't changed anything yet. I'm just wanting to start the discussion.
I'm sorry. I just saw nonprofit. I thought that was the last rate.
We want to
Gotcha.
eliminate the nonprofit rate because
Gotcha.
we don't get any nonprofits.
Gotcha.
So just to make it easy, let's just have one rate. But those are the current rates. So we need to discuss, and Michelle and I are under the impression we don't really need to do anything with Cromp and McCarthy. Those pavilion rates we think are satisfactory, but I didn't know what you would think. It's really the Ford and Lincoln rates that I want to start the discussion on as to what we want to increase them to.
Okay.
What would you like to see it at?
Well, I'm just going to tell you my experience. I'm renting a park that will accommodate 30 people. Or well, it's five or six cabins. It will accommodate 30 people for a weekend on a lake up north this summer. And that's costing me $2,500.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For 2 nights. So granted, the cabins are self-sufficient they each have a kitchen and all the bathroom and all that. Whereas our cabins don't have those things. They're just for sleeping. But we got
Yeah,
a
but-
dining hall.
I mean, even if, so this is a week, it's a 7-day deal, correct?
Mhm.
At $1,500, that's still a pretty
But,
good
and we have
steal.
we have 5 camper
Slots.
hookups.
And how many buildings and sleeps how many,
I think it sleeps 30 in the 4 cabins.
right? And a mess hall with a big kitchen and bathroom and showers and everything.
So yep,
And it's rented in the first
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10
On
minutes.
March 2nd we start.
The
So
whole summer.
yeah.
It sells out
Yeah,
quick.
Yes.
Well, and it's mostly like Michelle, you hear from the same people every year, correct?
Pretty much.
For the
Yeah.
most part.
Some more new people here in the
Yeah.
last couple of years. But yes, for the most part.
We have not, I think it's been about 5 years since we updated these. Yeah, 21.
Is the last time we increased the rates?
Mhm.
It's time.
And we have internet up there. We paved everything up there.
No kidding.
We've done a lot of improvements up there.
Yeah. Well, I would see nothing wrong with going to 2,000, 1,000 and 500.
I think minimum, yeah.
Do you have to be a county resident?
We used to have that on here and I think we took it off because people were finding ways to get around it. Like they were contacting somebody in the family or a friend that was a resident and renting it that
Gotcha.
way. And then those people had no idea if there was an issue or something, and we had to call them or contact them for something, they had no idea.
Right.
So we got rid of that some years ago.
Yeah, I would think that 2,000, 1,500 would be appropriate. I mean, we've got to pay the park ordinance committee something, somehow.
That's right.
Been really going
Well,
at it.
and to be honest, the park, what we collect isn't quite enough to pay for the part. We have to general fund appropriate a few $1,000s over there. This year for 25, I appropriated 4,000 over there to balance us.
Well, but I think with increasing the rate, we would be able to hit that, hopefully cash neutral, wouldn't we?
I would think so, yeah. If you were gonna go to that those rates you stipulated there.
Well, I would make the motion to continue to keep Crump and McCarthy Park at the rates presented. As for Ford Lincoln, move that to $2,000 for a weekly rate, $1,000 for a weekend rate, and $500 for a weekday rate per day.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to leave Crump and McCarthy Park Pavilions alone, change Ford Lincoln on the weekly rate from 1,500 to 2,000, the weekend rate from 825 to 1,000, and the weekday rate per day from 300 to 500. Discussion.
Commissioner Chair.
Yeah.
If we're looking at it from a percentage, if we're increasing roughly 25% on the weekly rate, we probably should look at doing the same percentage on all of them, or reasonably close. And that would get that weekend rate should be somewhere around the 1,100.
Wondered about that
11,
too. I
12.
didn't know how that played into what
How many-
people's mindset would be on.
How many weekend reservations do we get? Not very many, do we?
Maybe 2 or 3 a year.
It's mostly the week-long ones we get.
Is there any time that a weekend comes in where it messes up the opportunity to rent it out for a whole week?
We do all week long rentals first. For the first 2 weeks, we're open, and if there's dates left over after that, then we do weekends, but we don't have dates left over. Weekends, we do something more in the spring or late in the fall.
I think it should be 2,500.
I have no problem amending my motion. I was just thinking nice round numbers, you
Yeah.
know, 2,000, 1,500, just the OCD in me, I guess.
Extremely cheap. Quite
Yeah, it's
honestly,
still-
I would like to see that weekly rate be 2,500.
Well, I think we can do that, but I wouldn't think we'd want to try and take big chunks, you know, big swings like that in 1 year. Maybe we,
I bet you'd still see it sold out in the first 10
Yeah.
minutes.
right? But, you know, I believe when we made this table before, we kind of said, we're not trying to make a ton of money on this as long as we can be cash neutral. And it sounds like we needed at least a little increase, but I mean, if we increase it, we might make $5,000 on it a year. I don't know.
I think in fairness to people that have been loyal to running this, $1,000 seems like a pretty big jump. I would be definitely more in favor. But I really be in favor of revisiting this every year because I really think it's important that we are somewhat neutral. I mean, obviously we're not looking for profit, but to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money, I think we shouldn't be losing money
No.
when we're really offering this at an extremely discounted rate
Right.
already.
Yeah, and I think if, you know, going forward, we look at it every year and bump it up 1-2%, you know, whatever it was going to take for us to get to that neutral. I think that'd be a great idea. Who's going to remember to do this next year?
Brenda, you got us?
Yeah.
Set an alarm on your calendar.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, next up is warrant reports. We've got quite a few of them here. First one is 121820225 in the amount of $767,141.48. Next, warrant report 12232025 in the amount of $414,137.60. Next, warrant number 1230225 in the amount of $68,817.16. Next to last, warrant report 01082026 in the amount of $240,829.74. And finally, warrant report 01122026 in the amount of $569,895.22 for a grand total of $2,060,000 or $2,060,821.20. Is that right, Brenda?
Right on.
Thank you.
2,060,000.
$2,060,821.20. And if nobody has any questions, I will move to approve and allow for the appropriate signatures.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve all 5 warrant reports totaling $2,060,821.20.
You want to rifle them numbers back up?
No,
Come on.
just the total. 765, 414, 68, 240, and 569.
You're close, yeah.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, next is the consent agenda. There's just 3 items there. Veterans Treatment Court Grant Agreement is in there, if you care to take a look at that. And then Survey and Remonumentation Completion Report, that is a thrill ride. Other than that, if nobody has anything on the consent agenda, I would move to place items 9 through 11 on file.
Support. Been moved and supported to place items 9 through 11 of the consent agenda on file. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And then there is some items there for your information. And just to draw your attention to number 19, the resolution supporting protecting residents from foreclosure fraud. Our Register of Deeds has expressed an interest in that. Brenda is going to review that, but it's just, from what I understand, it's people somehow going through foreclosure, getting a deed to your property, and then basically stealing it. So, but Commissioner Murray brought up a good point. It's pretty hard to tell what's really in these House bills 5152 and 5153 without running through 500 pages of stuff. So
I read through the first 200 pages.
did you? But that'll be something we'll be looking at. And then if nothing else, that'll be your board correspondence for Monday, January 12th.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Peterson.
You.
Up next is new business. Item 1 is clerk correspondence. Item 2 is controller correspondence.
Only thing I have is a reminder about the Service Awards Luncheon being February 3rd. If you haven't gotten your notice from Rochelle yet, that's the day it's happening. We'll be
Day
here
of
at
the
the
week.
Legion. It's the Tuesday, I think,
Tuesday.
February 3rd.
I don't think I got a notice for that.
I didn't yet.
You haven't gotten anything from her yet? Okay,
Mm-mm.
I'll remind her. February 3rd, 11:30.
February 3rd at 11:30 at the
Legion.
Legion again.
Mhm.
Big class, or don't you know? Yeah.
Well, about same size.
Yeah.
Usually it's about the same size. Then that's auditors will be on site the week of the 26th here. Don't know what days yet. I got emailed today and I didn't get a response. Usually come for a day, sometimes 2. Central Dispatch auditors are coming this Thursday. So Pat's the only one, I guess, on this board that's on that committee. So he might get asked
Question.
something, but I think that's all I've got. Other than I wanted to ask Commissioner Peterson about that resolution from Houghton County we were supposed to be getting and what it was about.
What?
Remember in November, you said we'd be getting a resolution from Houghton County and you were,
Oh, no, I wasn't saying we were going to get it. That was when they put a resolution on the table to recognize only males and females. Don't you remember reading about that? Yeah, oh yeah. It was a huge deal. I said, I hope we don't get a resolution like
Oh,
that.
okay, all right.
I remember that reading. Was that in our packet and resolutions, or did
It
we
was,
read it in the
I don't
MAC?
think it was, and I think that was the comment that I made, like we might be seeing it.
Yeah.
Was it in Mac's newsletter or something? Where did we see?
Oh, it was all over the internet.
Let's see.
It might have been on Mac's newsletter. I'm a couple of years behind on those.
I don't remember seeing it. I actually look at it.
Oh, okay.
No, we've been looking for the one coming from Houghton County ever since then. I'm like,
No, it didn't pass, believe it or not.
oh,
All 14 people up there were pretty upset.
okay, well, we'll stop looking for it.
Okay, that, is that all, Brendan?
Yeah.
Number 3 is chair board correspondence. The chair doesn't have anything. Anyone else on the board have correspondence to share? If not, That takes us to old business. Item 1 is resolution 2025-15 that I believe we need to back up and adopt. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, I was sick that day.
So it was the Montebello football team and we got them in and got starstruck by their
By their
blonde hair.
Yeah.
their blonde hair and how many of them there was. And we took their picture and slapped them on the back and forgot to adopt the resolution.
All that got put in the paper, it was all false.
Yeah, right.
So we need to just, as a matter of housekeeping, someone move to adopt that resolution 2025-15, honoring the Montebello football team for their football accomplishments.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to officially adopt resolution 2025-15, resolution honoring the Montebello schools football season for the 2025 year. Discussion. If there's no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Old business item 2 is the parks ordinance. Nate, who wants to be the spokesman?
I mean, Matt, you kind of led the meeting. I can too. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, so basically we went, Commissioner Johnson sent us a template or kind of some stuff that he had started with, and we kind of worked through that, got a basic idea of what we were after, and then had Brenda send it to legal to get a legal opinion and kind of tie up the loose ends there. And they made some, there's quite a bit in there. It looks actually really good. And I think that it feels a lot better. I don't know if you guys have all had a chance to read through this yet or not, but it looks pretty good to me.
Are they the ones that put in the red line or the red?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
You guys just kind of gave them a, this is what we think, what do you think type of thing? And
Anything that's not red, we did.
All the black.
so basically where it says draft for review only is what you get.
Yeah.
So in section 7.3, there's an article about not allowing torpedoes.
Which seems
He
reasonable
was very
to me.
serious
I mean,
about his fireworks.
torpedoes and rockets.
I think we're gonna lose a lot of runners.
I'm telling you what, the torpedo club is not renting out Fort Lincoln for 20 or $2,000 and no torpedoes.
Well, that's only, they could get a permit from the director. So
Yeah.
That's true.
Just without a permit.
Right. And not, I don't know if you're asking for questions, but
Yeah,
while I have the floor,
sure.
there was another one about vendors. And the only thing I was, vendors must obtain written authorization from the county to sell or provide goods and services within the county park. That's, I mean, I think it's absolutely necessary, but could it be like if we did have another event where they were going to bring in all these vendors, could that organization just come and say, can we get one permit for, all these vendors? This is a list of our vendors, or do they have to come up individually and ask, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking of ease and not so the controllers, issuing vendor permits every.
So, Vice Chairman, generally like with the food vendors, they have to be licensed under the state.
Right. It says that above there. I'm just thinking like like if somebody wanted to do a craft sale or a book sale or something, like, do they have to all come up and get it, or can it just be, whatever? It's just a question. That was the only thing that stuck out to me.
I would think that we would want to know. I mean, I don't know. I could see both sides of that, but at the same time, I think that we're the ones that are carry the most liability, and I would think we would want to know who's going to be in the parks and make sure that they have their stuff up to snuff. Because I don't know if somebody's just organizing a party.
Right. No, absolutely, and so that goes to the next point is like the revocation is. The county revokes a vendor's authorization to sell or provide goods or services within the county parks for non-compliance with this ordinance. I would just take off after county parks and say, we reserve the right to just take that. We could take you out for whatever reason. If the board deems it necessary. Because maybe it doesn't, maybe it fits in all of these ordinances, but it still is a little controversial, maybe we want to just be able to say,
I
you
thought,
can't sell, aftermarket Beanie Babies in our parks. It's just illegal, who knows? It's just the thoughts that I had, and that was the rare time I had one.
were we trying to get away from that though?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any clue. I'm just thinking out loud as far as,
I see what you're saying for sure.
like, do we want to say in compliance with this ordinance? Because everybody loves a good loophole. That's all I'm saying.
It's such a good ordinance, no loopholes, right?
Right.
What's your pleasure?
Well, I think that I think it's pretty, to me, it seems pretty clear. You have to get a permit to be able to sell goods. And we also reserve the right to revoke any vendor's authorization. I mean, it leaves all the power right here with us.
Well, the authorization, if it doesn't meet the ordinance, that's all I was saying. Just take if it doesn't meet the ordinance off of there, so it leaves us a little freer to say.
Oh, I see what you're
He
saying.
just wants to open it
Oh,
up
yeah.
for more flexibility.
I'm just saying if it's if it's not in the ordinance and, maybe they're selling Ninja throwing stars, like,
Yeah,
well, it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
say
yeah.
we can't.
Yeah.
That's all I was saying.
I would have no problem with that.
So take off for non-compliance with this ordinance.
Yes.
Just end period of part.
One other area that I wanted to bring up, I just didn't like the way that this was worded, and it
3.4?
is
3.4B.
what's that?
3.4B.
3.4B, yes. It says it shall be unlawful for any person to use an area or facility of a county park or without prior payment of said fee. Well, if I'm at McCarthy Park having a picnic and according to this, I can't do that without, I mean, that's not clear on whether or not I could do this without paying a fee.
I think it just needs a reword, honestly.
Yeah, I think-
that's
I
not
just-
what he intended.
Yes, I think we need to change the wording on that to
I think it was like
uh,
reserve or exercise reservation of a facility
Without paying a fee.
without paying
Yeah.
the fee.
Yes.
Like you can't show up
And
and
that-
say, I reserved this. I didn't pay the fee, but I reserved it.
I know that that's what it means.
I'm
but
sure.
that's not what it says.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say what it means.
And the speed limit is 10 miles an hour. Can we bump that up to 25?
So should that read, it shall be unlawful for any person to assume a reservation
3.4
of any area
right here.
or facility without prior payment of said fee?
Missed it.
Yes,
That's better.
I like that a lot better.
When it says vehicles shall park in only designated areas, do we have designated areas or just like, well, you can tell that's a parking spot?
Crop Park, we have designated areas.
McCarthy might just need some signage, I think. as
Speed, we
well.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra lines
What-
on the pavement.
Doug talked about that at the meeting, talked about getting some signs up there to designate there to show that.
Anything else?
I like it.
So what do we need here? Do we need a motion to rework this and approve it? Do we need to direct the controller to just rework it and send it back to the
Legal.
lawyer for final approval? What do we want to do here? What's the moving?
I don't know that it needs to go back to the attorney with that
Yeah,
minute
attorneys are-
Yeah.
Yeah.
change.
Why don't we just, could we just have Brenda type up a cleaned up rough draft of it for us to move on to the next meeting?
Yeah, we can do that. Bring it back to the next meeting for the final approval, and then we would have to have a public hearing in February, in one of the February meetings.
That way it would be approved for before March. Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that.
I think the one thing that I'm not really sure where it stands is renting out the full park.
I didn't see any verbiage for it.
Well, that's why we left it out, because we didn't know what exactly we came up with as a board, the consensus.
I think we had a failed experiment.
But how do we want to handle that? I mean, do we want to put that in an ordinance? Do we just leave it up to, we're not doing it? I mean,
We had kind of talked about this a little bit. I think that the ordinance is going to cover all the parks. And I think that we're going to have some park rules that are going to be for the specific parks as well. And I think that we can just incorporate that into park rules.
Yeah, I think if we have this ordinance in place, a nice umbrella, and then every park has its own rules.
And that will go in those park rules that McCarthy Park doesn't get rented out to the one entity.
so when should we start working on those? I mean, because we're gonna have to have those done at the same time, so.
The park rules are going to be a little bit different though than we don't have to have public hearing and stuff for that, do we?
No,
Well, we have
But-
park rules, right?
Yeah,
we do,
We
yeah.
just kind of need to do.
We'll just clean it
Probably
up.
just need to be tweaked, yeah.
and those need to be done by March? Is that when you,
Yeah, because
Start that
those are the
process.
reservation
Okay.
forms that go out.
Okay.
Once the reservations are made, and
We can still do that.
So
I
you
could probably
guys,
work on those two and bring them back to the next one.
Okay.
Is there anything that precludes someone from renting all 3 of the pavilions at McCarthy Park?
I don't think so.
No, it's not, I don't believe it's ever happened prior to last summer, has it? No. So,
So if I wanted to throw Johnson Fest 2026, I could rent all 3 pavilions and welcome anyone from the public that came by and wanted to participate.
yeah,
all 5 of you will have a great time.
Yeah, right. Each have your own pavilion. That'd be
Yeah, there you
great.
go.
I'm gonna have a fruit pavilion for Adam.
I got a starter. Better hurry up though. They're gonna go bad quick.
But people would still have access to all the common areas, and so it wouldn't be, be different than what we were doing before, even if they did pavilions.
sure.
So what? I guess at the end of the day, and I'm not trying to pick any scabs, but what happens if a group comes to us and says, "Hey, we want to throw a huge give out free money event at McCarthy Park. There's going to be thousands of people there. What do we say? No,
I'd say no. Why don't you check with 4-H? They've got a really good setup for that.
right? But all it would take is just one county resident to be like, "Oh, we're going to have a party there. Oh, got out of control."
What's the question they're gonna ask us that sets it in motion?
As far as like,
So they wanna have that event you talked about, what? are
right?
we-
Do it when they come up and say, "Hey, we want to have a big fest there." Who knows what? I mean, we just say, "No, you can't do that."
We don't give them, we don't reserve it or give them permission to rent the whole place exclusively.
Right.
If they wanna show up there on Saturday and have their
Not much we can do about that.
thing, like
Right.
any other county, they can do that, but we're just, and I would piggyback on that I don't know that we want to rent all 3 pavilions to the same person. That's ostensibly renting the whole
that
park.
could be the
isn't
park
it?
rules too.
But where's
That could be in the
Johnson Fest
park
gonna be?
rules,
Peterson.
Your
Farms
house?
problem.
because
So
you are
That's what's
renting out
been
all of
passed, isn't
Camp
it?
Ford Lincoln,
yeah.
so that's why it'd have to be in the park rules.
Yes.
Right. So effectively, we're ruling out ever having a disc golf tournament or anything like that there, right?
Well,
I think they can have a
if
disc
they wanted to
golf
have a disc
tournament.
golf tournament there, that's fine. But if somebody wants to rent a pavilion to have an open house there for graduation, they could do that too.
It's just a
We're
weird.
just not gonna rent it exclusively for a event that nobody
Yeah.
else can come in
Okay.
and use it at the same time, right?
Has anybody ever rented more than one pavilion at one time?
Mm-mm. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really limited.
I'm just trying to get a feel for what our position on that is, if it happens.
But that's something we could talk about specifically when we're dealing with McCarthy Park rules, and maybe that is something we put in the park rules. If that's what the board doesn't, want.
I might have missed it. Is there anything to limit what people can do? I mean, I'm seeing the events requiring permits, but that doesn't say that you can't have a disc golf course there. Like it says reservation permit or written authorization is required for a gathering of more than 25 people, events requiring special equipment. I mean, it can all be done, I think.
It could be done. You just can't reserve the whole park and have it be only for your people. It would,
So what would the reservation permit or written authorization do then?
it would allow you to have the pavilion because the rentals of the pavilion.
Okay.
Exclusively.
It's exclusive use of the pavilion, not the park.
So I'll bring that back with those couple changes and then work on some park rules to bring back.
Where did we settle on torpedoes? Were we
We are definitely no torpedoes.
no torpedoes?
Anti-torpedo.
All right. Just saying.
We can't have a torpedo landing in that lady's yard next door.
Oh, sure.
Not again, anyway.
Not again. First time was enough. I just saw that word and was like, what are we doing? Somebody's launching torpedoes in the Flat River.
Also, no submarines in the flat.
No,
I mean,
no.
it's-
Somebody's going to get to the park and be like, oh, guess I'll go home.
So the sheriff or his designee or Doug or his designee can both write civil infractions for violations there. Is that correct?
I think it's me. I don't think it's Doug.
I'm going to say, oh, Doug's not here
Definition
anymore.
Unless that was your designee.
County controller.
badge.
Okay, okay.
We got you a ticket book yet?
Yeah, are you going to be deputized?
I'm
You're
sure
going to
I
drive
will
all the
be.
way over from Carson City and be like, all right, get out of here.
It's to get out of control. We're just dropping skids on everybody.
All right. Are we taking any action on that or?
I don't think we need to.
Okay.
All right, I'll be back next time.
Thank you.
That ends old business, public comments.
Move to adjourn.
Support. It's been moved and supported to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.